Bismillah, Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah. This is Math 101, Major Exam 2, Term 232. Let us have a look to the exam and solve it together. Answer these short questions, 1 point for each one. Find the inverse of this matrix. Well, this is a 2 by 2 matrix, and we know the inverse would be, if we call this matrix A, then A inverse would be 1 over the determinant of this matrix, and the determinant is 2 times 6, which is 12, minus 3 times 7, which is 21. So 1 over the determinant. And then you come to this matrix, 2, 6 on the main diagonal, you change their positions, you interchange them. So 6 would be here and 2 would be here. 3 and 7, you keep the position but change the sign. So if they are positive, you make them negative. If one is negative, you make it positive. 12 minus 21 is negative 9. So this would be the answer. You can keep it like this if you like. And you can multiply by the matrix by 1 over negative 9. So it would be 6 over negative 9. Negative 3 over negative 9. Minus cancels with the minus. Negative 7 over negative 9. 2 over negative 9. So this would be the final answer. Part B, given this matrix equals to this matrix, find X and Y. Well, two matrices are equal if the corresponding elements are equal. So X has to be equal to 2X plus 1. This is a linear equation. To solve it, I'll take X to this side. So 2X minus X would be X. And I'll take 1 to this side. So X is negative 1. This is 7 should be equal to this. They are equal. 4 should be equal to 4 correctly. 8 should be equal to 8y. So 8y is 8. So y would be 8 over 8, which is 1. So these are the values of X and Y. How much simple interest is earned? Simple interest. The formula for the simple interest, I equals PRT. Upon investing $1,200. So this is the P, the principal. For 6 months, this is T. At 6%, this is R, the rate. We should multiply by 6% in decimal. So if you divide 6 by 100, it is 0.06. Just divide in the calculator 6 over 100. Or you can write it 6% in the calculator. There is a button for percent. Shift that button would give you percent. Times T. T the time, it should be in years. So he said 6 months. To change 6 months to years, I divide by 12 because there are 12 months in a year. Multiply, use the calculator and multiply. The answer is 36. So this is the simple interest. Perform the operation. Well, I need to multiply 7 first times this matrix. So 7 times 1, 7 times 3, 7 times 5, 7 times negative 2. And then subtract from the identity. This is the identity matrix. 7 minus 1. 21 minus 0. 35 minus 0. Negative 14 minus 1. So this is the answer. Multiply this times this. Here I have 1 row and 2 columns. Here I have 2 rows and 1 column. Can I multiply? Yes, because 2 equals to 2. What would be the resulting matrix, the size or the order of the resulting matrix? one by one. So it's just one number. So multiply this row by this column. 1 times 5, 5. 3 times -2, -6. So 5 minus 6 is -1. So the answer is -1. Find the principal that will yield $2,000. So I need the principal. Will yield this amount. So this amount is the future value. For 6 years, this is T. 12%, this is R. Compounded monthly, so M is 12 because there are 12 months in a year. So compounded monthly, so the money will be compounded 12 times in a year. The formula says S equals P times 1 plus R over M to the power M times T. So the future value is 2000. P is unknown. 1 plus 0.12 over 12. M is 12, 12 months. M is 12 times 6, 72. Now, how to find P? P would be, you divide 2000 by this. Well, 0.12 divided by 12 is just 0.01. 1 plus 0.01, I will write it like this. Okay, to the power 72. And I put it in the calculator, 2000 divided by 1.1 to the power 72, and the answer would be 977. Okay, after rounding up. So to the power 72, the answer is 976.99. So it would be $977. Given A inverse is the inverse of the matrix A, solve this system. Solve this system means find X. Find the matrix X. So this is a system written on the form AX equals B. And to solve this system, we multiply by A inverse from the left. A inverse times A will give you I times X will give you X. So X would be, I multiplied from the left here, so I should multiply from the left here. X would be A inverse times B. Well, A inverse is given in the question, and B is given. This is a 3 by 3. This is a 3 by 1, 3 rows and 1 column. I can multiply them, and the answer would be 3 by 1. So it would give you the matrix X. 3 plus 0 minus 6. Sorry, 3 times 1, 3. 0 times 2, -3 times 3, -9. So 3 minus 9 is -6. 1 times 1, 1 times 2, 2 times 3, 6 plus 2 plus 1 is 9. 1 times 1, 2 plus 2, 1 times 3. 7 plus 1 is 8. So this is the answer, -698. I can keep these or I can remove them as you wish. Okay. This is how I multiplied the two matrices. The augmented matrix for a system is reduced to. So when we solve the system, there are different methods. This is one of them. This is another one. We write the augmented matrix. This is the augmented matrix. Here, the coefficients. Here, the coefficients, sorry. And these are the constants on the right-hand side of the system. So We start by writing the augmented matrix, work with it. So we reached this one. The question, find the solution, solve the system. Well, I have variables here. So if I say that the first variable is x, the second is y, the third is z, then the first equation is what? 1 times x, that's x, plus 0 times y, plus 0 times z equals what? 3. The second line, 0 times x, 5y, 0 times z equals 20. So this line should be equal to this number. This line should be equal to this number. This line should be equal to this number. 5y equals 20, so y would be 20 over 5, that's 4. 0x, 0y, 3z equals 6. So z is 6 over 3, which is 2. So these are the values of the variables, the solution of the system. You can keep it like this, or if you want, you can write it as an ordered triple. The value of x first, then the value of y, then the value of z. How long in years? So he's asking about time. Will it take 600? That's the principal. To grow to 970, that's the future value. At 8%, that's R, 0.08. Compounded continuously, the formula is S equals P E R T. S is 970. P is 600. E is E. R is 0.08 times T. Now T is the variable. I want to solve for T, and it is up in the power. So I must use len. But to use len, I know that len EX is X. I must have EX. I have EX, but I have 600. 600 is not good. I have to remove this 600. How? Divide both sides by 600. So if you divide 970 by 600, you will get, okay, let me write it, 997 over 60. Now apply len to both sides. Len will cancel E. And I'll have this len equals negative 0.8 T. So T would be len 97 over 60 over negative 0.8. And when you put this in the calculator, the answer would be 0.6. This is 0.08, sorry. 0.6 is not good. 0.6 years is, okay, let me do it again. Len 97 over 60 over negative 0.08. There is no negative. Why I put negative? It is positive, okay? Positive. It was positive here. I don't know what happened. And it's better to write this len 97. You have to write clearly so you don't do mistakes. 0.08. 08. 08. Good. So T would be equal to len 97 over 60 over 0.08. The answer is 6. 6.0045. So I'll just write it 6. So we will need 6 years for this amount to grow to this amount under these conditions. The feasible region is given. Well, I assume if he says the feasible region is given, so this should be dashed like this. I mean, this is the feasible region. Well, even if the feasible region is not given, you can find it, because you can find the line x plus 2y equals 6. If you put y 0, x is 6. So it is this line. And 0 less than 6, so the graph is below. And that's the other line, and 0 less than 10, the graph is below. And x is greater than 0, y greater than 0, so this is the region. Where are the corner points? This is 1, 2, 3, 4. To find he is asking me to find the corner points. So 0, 0, 0 and 3. What is this number? Well, if it's not clear, then this is the line 5x plus 2y equals 10. If y is 0, x is 2. And if x is 0, y is 5. What about this one? If x is 0, y is 3. And if y is 0, x is 6. So in fact, this is the line x plus 2y equals 6. And this is the line 5x plus 2y equals 10. And this should be 0, 3. Yeah, it's clear. It's the 3, 0, 3. And this is 2, 0. Okay. And this point is the intersection between the two lines. I have, let me write them together, this line and this line. Just subtract or change the sign of the first equation and subtract. 5x minus x, 4x. 2y minus 2y is 0. 10 minus 6 is 4. So x is 1. X is 1. And if you replace it, for example, in the first one, so 1 plus 2y is 6. So 2y is 5 and 5 is 2.5. So this is 1 and 2.5. I solved the question from the beginning, okay? But everything was clear from the graph, okay? If you just use the graph and wrote the corner points from the graph, that would be fine in this case. F is 5x plus 11y. But I wanted to make sure that my answer is correct. Now, replace x by 0 and y by 0. If I replace x by 0 and y by 3, x by 2 and y by 0, x by 1, so I have 5, 11 times 2.5. That's 27.5. So 32.5. So what is the maximum? He's asking what determine the maximum and the minimum. So what is the maximum? Maximum of f is 33 at 0, 3. And minimum of f is 0 is the smallest at 0, 0. So this is the answer to the question. Question about the simplex method. Find the maximum. Well, first, we change each inequality to an equation by introducing the slack variables. So this is the first slack variable. And this is the second slack variable. And then the objective function, we take everything to the left-hand side. So the right-hand side would be 0. And then we write the initial simplex matrix. Coefficients of x, coefficients of y, coefficients of S1. There is S1 only in the first equation. S2 only in the second equation. F only in the third equation. We put a line here, a row here, and a column here, and we write the constants. So these here x, y, here S1, S2, you don't have to write this, but to understand. Well, this is the initial matrix. And now we need to determine the pivot entry. We look to the objective row, the last row here. The most negative number is -4. So this would be the pivot column. Now we divide 40 by 1. And 60 by 2. 30 is smaller than 40. So this is the pivot entry. What should I do with the pivot entry? I should make it 1. So I need to divide row 2 by 2. So I'll have 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 40, and half, 1, 0, half, 0, 30. So I divided row 2 by 2 to make the pivot entry 1. Then I use this one to make the other numbers in the column zeros. So I need to use this one to make this number 0. So I will multiply row 2 by -1 and add it to row 1. And I will multiply row 2 by 4 and add it to row 3. I'll get a new matrix in which the second row is the same. I forget a number. Let me do the objective row first. 4 times half is 2, -3, -1. So the problem is not finished. 4 plus minus 4, 0. 0. 4 times half is 2, 1. 4 times 30 is 120, plus 0. And negative half plus 1, -1 plus 1, negative half plus 0, and -30 plus 40. This is the new matrix. It's not a final matrix because we still have a -1 here. So this is the pivot column. I divide 10 by half. The answer is 20. I divide 13 by half. The answer is 60. So this number is the pivot entry. I make it 1. So I multiply row 1 by 2. So row 1 would be 2 times half, 2 times negative half, and I write, this is the pivot entry. I write the other rows. And now I should use this one to make the other numbers zeros. So to make half zero, I multiply row 1 by half and add it to row 2. To make negative 1, 0, I add row 1 and row 3. Multiply row 1 by 1 and add. The new matrix would be the first row without any change. Negative half plus half, 0. Negative half times 2 is negative 1 plus 0. Half plus half, negative half times 0, 0 plus 0. Negative half times 20 is negative 10 plus 30. And the last row, add 1 minus 1, 0. 2 plus 0, negative 1 plus 2, 1. 20 plus 120, 140. And since there are no negative values in the objective row, so this is a final matrix. So this is X, this is Y, this is S1, this is S2, this is F. Now there are 5, or let us say 4 variables. F is always there. Or F5 variables. Some of them are basic, some of them are non-basic. Whenever you have 1 and zeros everywhere else, otherwise, then X, Y, and F are basic variables. While S1 and S2, they don't have this 1, 0, 0. So S1 and S2 are non-basic variables. So to find the values of the basic variables, we put the non-basic variable zeros. So write the first equation. If I ask you to write the first equation here, you have what? X, 0 times Y, plus 2S1 minus S2 plus 0 times F equals 20. The second equation, 0 times X, 1 times Y, negative 1 times S1, 1 times S2, 0 times F equals 20. The objective row, 0 times X, 0 times Y, 2S1 plus S2 plus F equals 140. To find the values of the basic variables, put S1 and S2 zeros because they are non-basic. So this is 0, this is 0. So X is 20. This is 0, this is 0. So Y is 20. F is 140. So that's how you find the values of the variables. Or you can, if you understand this idea, you don't have to write all of this, but this is just illustration for you to understand. But look here to 100, value of X, go there 20 immediately. Y 010, so 1Y or Y equals 20. F 100, so F equals 140. So the answer would be maximum of F is 140 at X equals 20 and Y equals 20. This would be the answer. You can write immediately. After this matrix, you can write this answer. But this is just for people who don't understand how we get these values. This was the last question. I hope you enjoyed discussing and solving this exam with me. Good luck.